Hello everyone, my name is Sark and welcome back to another SH Figuarts review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Frieren from Frieren Beyond Journey's End. This figure has been in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store for a while, but I have her in my collection now because I shipped her out, because of course I needed to. So, I've been waiting for this one for a while. Fern is supposed to release this month as well, so expect the video on hers soon. I will say the box, a little bit underwhelming. I like the gold that they're using, but sometimes it's a little bit hard to read in my opinion. Besides that, I think the box looks pretty nice for what they're going for, so hopefully later in the future we can get more characters from the series itself. But without further ado, let's get her out and see what she comes with. Alright, so here we have Frieren, and I'm not gonna lie, she is tiny. Holy hell. So, Frieren measures up at about 5 inches. That is much shorter than any other SH Figuarts that I have. Even shorter than Makima, which is actually very surprising. On the screen, you're going to see a couple of different comparisons in terms of height of other figures that I have in my collection. So, yeah, again, she is tiny. So, in terms of aesthetic, I think she looks pretty darn good. I don't think there's any issues with her in terms of like sculpting or anything like that. I think everything looks fairly accurate to its source material, which I'm pretty sure is the anime instead of the manga. So, something to note is that the hair is not pure white. There's actually a paint application to the plastic where it has a very light blue purplish tone, which I think suits her very well, and it is, again, accurate to the source material. Now, for the face, I think it looks pretty darn good as well. I think they were able to capture her seriousness as a character, and even the ears look proportionally well too. Now, she does have a soft plastic outfit, which is not the worst, but they could have definitely done better. But overall, I think it looks pretty good. I don't think there's any issues with the paint applications or anything else for the figure. Now, let's move on to the articulation. So, for the articulation, this is my first time trying this. She can look downward about this much. You might pop out the actual faceplate if you're not careful. She can look up this much because her collar is actually blocking it a little bit, so you're not going to get the most range. Her pigtails actually move a little bit, so they swing side to side. She does come with 2 different sets, so I'll show that in the accessory section. For the T-pose, you could probably get the good T-pose, perfect T-pose for this figure, but you're going to get a little bit of resistance with the drape that she has for the soft plastic, even though there is actual cuts for you to put her arms over. That's how you're going to get that T-pose. So far, this is as far that I can get her in an actual T-pose, and because of this, I can't rotate her arms 360 degrees. Kind of sucks, but it's fine. They could move forward that much and move backwards this much without having to like remove this or anything. Now, for the elbows, I do think that she has, yes, a double jointed elbow that she can use pretty effectively. It doesn't look the greatest, but it actually suffices enough. And it does look like she's using the actual sleeves instead of just a pointy elbow. For the hands, they're the typical hands where they're in a ball hinge, so you can swing them forward or backwards and swivel them however you want. For the torso, I took her apart. Okay. Now, she can go forward this far, not the greatest, and backwards this far. Better than going forwards. She will get a little bit of gaps, but you're going to barely notice that. And she can swivel side to side and rotate as well. For the legs, again, similar thing to the top. You're not going to get a perfect split, not only because of the soft plastic preventing that, but also because of the sculpt of the figure. they're not really sculpted very well. They're very much like Makima's, where she can't really do the splits. Now, kicking forward, about there, almost 90 degrees. So there is that. But kicking backwards, also almost 90 degrees. So there is that. Single jointed knee, which is sufficient for this figure. It looks pretty darn good in my opinion. There is a slight thigh swivel, which is pretty good. No boot swivel, which kind of sucks. But we do have a hinge for the foot that can move forward this much, backwards this much, and the toe hinge, which doesn't look the greatest when using it because it's not smooth, but it will suffice. So yeah, in terms of articulation, she's pretty limited, and that is definitely a concern that a lot of people had when they showed this the first time around, because of Tamashii using soft plastic instead of actual soft goods for their future releases. So maybe in the future we can get a soft goods Frieren that has better articulation and more ease of access to her joints as well. They did it with Anya, they're doing it with Anya, so hopefully this one can have it too in the future, but who knows. But she does come with quite a bit of accessories, so let's take a look at those real quick. Alright, so here we have all of the accessories for Frieren, and honestly, she comes with a couple of things, not too many, but let's take a look at them real quick. So, for the faceplates, we do have a smiling faceplate, which actually looks pretty nice. I like that. Very adequate to this character, and it really captures her good side of things for the most part. Now, we do have a more serious and focused faceplate with her mouth kind of like open a little bit, but not too much, and with a more focused look as well. And last but not least, we also have a sort of shy and whoopsie daisies faceplate, which is fairly typical for this character to do multiple times throughout the series, so there's that. In terms of the hand gestures that she comes with, she does come with a set of fists, a set of hands to hold her staff, and a set of praying hands. And last but not least, in terms of like additional accessories, she comes with 2 different pigtails that you can put onto the character if you want, which honestly is pretty nice. Instead of the relaxed hair, you can definitely have her more active. We do have her staff, which I'm hoping it's not cheap gold paint, because I don't want this to bleed onto anything when I have her post up, so that would suck, but it looks pretty nice. A little bit flimsy, but it feels sturdy enough. And if you're wondering how to actually put these hands on, you just have to take off the top of the staff. So you can do that and then slide that hand over, and then you're good. And last but not least, we have the actual Soul Track attack, which is pretty well done. I thought this was going to be just like a piece of paper, translucent paper, and it's more so of a cardstock, which is really nice. It's fairly sturdy and not flimsy at all, so I can definitely see this holding up for a long time, and it comes with its own stand, which is awesome. So yeah, in terms of accessories, she has, I think, the necessary amount of accessories. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get any additional accessories for Frieren in future releases. They haven't done it with Fern, so that's great. So hopefully they don't do that like any other franchises that they're doing currently. But sort of leading into my final thoughts, I do think this Frieren is actually pretty decent, especially if you are a fan of the series. I definitely fell in love with it, so there is that. I think I'm going to give her a 7 out of 10, and the main reason is I kind of wish there was a little more in terms of accessories, but I don't really mind. It's mainly the articulation is very limited, so for a character that does not necessarily do the most insane poses or actions within the series, I think it's quite fitting. So, but if you're gonna post her up, you're gonna have some issues with it. That's pretty much my only sort of concern for this figure. Overall, I think she's a fairly good figure, and I think a 7 is fairly good because it's like right in the middle. It's not great, it's not bad at all, it's like not terrible. I think 7 is a good passing grade for this figure. So yeah, I'm hoping that Fern is as good, if not better, but I am more concerned about her because she has a full-on robe and dress as well, so there might be a little bit more limited articulation there. So yeah, but that's all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, what you think of this figure. Do you have it? Do you not have it? I was definitely surprised by the size of this figure. It's very small. So yeah, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.